When I was, what year are we in now? 2008. Time is going really fast, and I am just absolutely amazed. And I still, because Rita, like I said, she died in 1990. And all these years later, she still is so inspiring to me. Because I was, as I was speaking around the country, people would ask about the story of the lemonade stand and how did this happen and whatever. So I go share with them. And the next thing you know, people are saying, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And I think, oh, an author, I am definitely not that. I always had the gift of gab. My mom would say I need to shut up, and now I tell her that's what I get paid to do. And so see, I told her I just should have listened to you guys, the whole gambit. So anyway, we now, I lost my train of thought here for a second with my mom. It just floated across. My mom's going to be 80 this month, and I'm just really proud of her because she never thought these things could happen either. And so many great things have even happened with my parents because they never trusted strangers before. And so they were just amazed at the things that have happened. But anyway, going on to do the patients, over 10,000 people. When I met my husband then, years later, believe it or not, my husband happens to be in the cancer field as well. And by the grace of God, he sent me a cancer doctor. I waited many, many years for a husband. It was like, send me the right one, because I obviously didn't get it the first time. I didn't pick the right kind out. So send me the right one. Well, here he is. Well, that came in very handy when I, Gail, heard the words, you have lung cancer. And in the emergency room that night, I looked at my husband and I said, now wait a minute. He must have the wrong chart. I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He was a young doctor in the ER. And I said, honey, wait a minute. I know you're tired. It's 4 in the morning, but I think you got the wrong chart. Can you look again? He's like, Gail, I'm really sorry. He said, I wish that I didn't have to tell you that, but you have lung cancer. And I looked at my husband and I thought, you know what? That is really bizarre. Because I've worked 10 years and knew everything about breast cancer. I could tell you everything about the wigs and the colors and the prosthesis and all these other things. And yet here I have lung cancer. What is up with that? But the interesting thing is the little voice said back to me, people need to know about lung cancer as well. People need to know about colon. People need to know about prostate. They need to know about all the cancers because none of them are good. None of them are good. However, it's how you handle it that can make that outcome be good. And as I laid in the ER room, I looked at my husband and I said, you know what? I don't want to just survive this disease. I want to thrive. With whatever time that the good Lord has left for me, I want to thrive. I don't want to just sit here. There is a reason why these things happen, I believe. And I was at my crossroad again, where I was when I met Rita years ago. And it was either to cross and stay where I was in the OB-GYN field or to cross over into the field of cancer. And I'm really grateful to God that I made that switch over to cancer because I have just learned so many great things. And yes, I will tell you, I was very scared, even though to my husband, who was like falling apart. I was like, wait a minute, time out, you're the one that's the doctor. You deal with this all the time. He goes, yeah, but you're my wife. It doesn't matter, I'm still a person. But, the initial shock was very, very, very scary, very scary. And then I have to be honest, I read that, when I was the president of American Cancer, and I used to read on the back of their brochure that the statistics for lung cancer was the prognosis was about 2 years. And I looked at my husband, I said, that has always stuck in my mind because I always hated that. Who was doing those statistics? Who does the statistics? None of us are a statistic. We don't want to be a statistic because we're each different and we're unique. And how we battle these things is unique and different. Oh, good. Is it time to go? Is that my buzzer? So anyway, my husband, who was very, he wasn't in the mood to joke around, but I needed to do that for myself because I needed to put this in perspective for me. Because I had seen a lot of people be diagnosed with cancer who went on to survive this. And yes, some of them did pass. But before they did, they left us with such great encouragement and hope They left us with so much to believe in and keep working for, that there was no way that I was going to quit either. And so even though, they said, oh, you need to do the surgery and whatever, and we're going to find out, exactly how bad. Should we dance?
Not at all.
Oh, man. I think we're just getting to the good songs. But I have to tell you, my other son in Kentucky, he put Staying Alive on my phone. Yeah, I don't know how to do those things, and he confiscated my phone and put Staying Alive on it for me. So anyway, so when this happened, and again, let me just preface by saying I really beat my body up for the first half of my life because I just had my hip replaced 2 weeks before the lung cancer. And again, that's not something that people normally have to have at 50, but I was like, okay, God, whatever, what's up with this? Well, I realized I was just too hard on my body. I was doing too many things. But the interesting thing is now having had the lung cancer, I had to do what I was telling everybody else to do. I had to allow all those people come into my life who were going to help me. Now, finally, after 50 years, and I look back now and think, gosh, why didn't I do it when I was 20? But after all these years, I got to sit back and let people pamper me. That was really hard. It was really hard to come in and just kind of let people take over. But people started sending me cards that I didn't know. People started doing my laundry, which was, for you women, how hard is that? That's like, oh, I don't want you to do my laundry, but you know what? Now it's like, do my laundry. Come over anytime and do my laundry. Cleaning my house, that was another big thing. It was like you don't want people in your private space. You don't want people doing that stuff. But you know what? I learned to say, you know what, it's okay, come on in, do it. And then I realized, it doesn't matter. They were making my house look better than I ever did, so I have them keep doing it. Keep doing it. I lined people up for weeks, even after I didn't need it anymore. And then the meals, how many of you guys get meals? You know how that goes? Oh my gosh, I never had people cook for me before. And it happened to be that my meal was right at, the cancer thing happened right at Easter time. And people from my church actually brought the entire Thanksgiving meal. Turkey, dressing, every side you can think of, including the wonderful dessert. I had a really hard time standing there and watching them bringing all this stuff. It just felt really awkward, really weird. But you know what? I kept hearing Marie say, enjoy, enjoy, because you're going to have to go back to cooking yourself. So I enjoyed, and I just let the presence and the peacefulness of all these people who were sending me cards and praying for me and sending me food, and people who would, honest to goodness, picked me up and took me to the massage place to get a massage, do my nails, all that stuff. I never had that stuff. It was wonderful, but it was really hard to let go and let somebody do that. It was really hard. But I encourage you that if people want to do those things, or you're one of those caregivers that want to do it, even if the people say no, keep prodding them anyway, because I really appreciated it once I got past it. The really hard thing was after I had had the surgery, and they didn't tell me that during the nighttime you get these really bad nightmares, if you will. I always thought I was suffocating because of the surgery line, and I was even a surgical scrub nurse at one time. But I didn't know that all these weird things would happen to your body after you had surgery. I was always on the other end. I was always doing surgeries and things for other people. But now I was the reciprocant of those surgery lines. And it was really kind of scary. But I realized again that if I just stopped and said, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, I never ever thought I'd be walking up my driveway because I couldn't hardly breathe after they removed part of my lung. I never dreamed that I would be walking around the neighborhood. But if by the grace of my son and my husband and God, they would force me to get up and walk down that driveway. And believe me, I went kicking and screaming. I don't even know how they're still my family members, truthfully. I was so mean to them. I was very mean. With all the drugs and the things that you're on, you're not yourself all the time. But somehow they just grinned and bared it as my caregivers, and they just pushed me through it anyway. But now I'm happy to say that I can almost run around my neighborhood, even with my fake hip. And so I am very grateful to those caregivers